Hi everyone. I wanted to provide you with this little recording on assignment one, some explanations and tips for the project proposal and goal analysis. I thought it might be a good idea just to sort of explain it to you, give you some of my thought process behind it, to hopefully make it make more sense if you're not sure exactly what's going on, and that's okay if you're still trying to figure it out. That's what we're here for, to help you get through this. So I thought it might be good just to you can just see it on paper, but sometimes just hearing it makes a little bit of help too. So anyway, I'm gonna just try to explain my mentality here with this, and um, ideally, what you're doing is over the next several weeks, many weeks, you will be developing this instructional product. So what you're pitching to me now, the project proposal and goal analysis assignment one, excuse me, is really what's going to be built off of over the next 12, 13 weeks. So what you come up with now is important because you're not going to really want to change this in 6 weeks from now. Now, looking at the syllabus, when you're coming up with this proposal and goal, keep in mind that you should be able to achieve the goal in about 30 minutes. The product that you create, this big activity that you're coming up with over the course of the class, is only going to take about a half an hour to do. It is not a week-long task. You're not coming up with unit plans or something like that if you're a high school teacher or elementary school teacher. It's just one lesson that takes about a half an hour to do, self-contained, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Now, you may want to try to bite off something bigger, but I don't think it's necessary for the scope of this course. You'll see that just even in 30 minutes of a lesson, going through the steps that we're going to get to on the course will be quite challenging as it is. Now, the content that you select to create this lesson on should be something unfamiliar. Like, for instance, I teach psychology every day. And well, I probably shouldn't come up with some sort of lesson in psychology. I would pick something that's unfamiliar, and that's a little different for you. And that's okay. I want you to break out of your comfort zone a little bit, because if you were to become an instructional designer, you're probably going to be doing some work in areas that you aren't familiar with. That's why you consult subject matter experts, and that's a part of this too, that you'll consult them. When it comes to picking entry-level requirements, as you'll be reading about what those are in the Dick, Dick, and Carey book, you probably want to select a topic or an objective that doesn't have many prerequisites, meaning that the target audience should have the background information, and you're not going to have to go back in and teach these prerequisite skills to get them up to speed. So you probably want to make sure that they have these abilities to begin with. And then when you are selecting the medium for instruction, I'm just going to read this here to you. You'll want to select your topic. You'll choose something that can be easily taught in a self-contained print-based module. Print-based module. So self-contained print-based module. So that means that you are not providing any sort of lecturing. You are not standing up teaching anybody. You're not doing anything in groups. There's no tutoring going on. If you handed the material to the student, they should be able to complete it on their own. That's kind of the goal there. Now, I know some of you are Gwinnett County teachers, and if you're not a Gwinnett County teacher, don't just disregard this, but you may be able to do something in the E-class, and that would be fine. You may even want to consider not using the students that you work with, elementary, high school, middle school, but maybe come up with something that adults could do that might be in an easier direction, something self-contained that an adult could learn. I know some of you are coming from the military background, law enforcement, human resources, so consider maybe something that you could do with the adults that you work with. Now, if you look at some of the examples that I'm providing, they're pretty simple in terms of the big picture. So just looking at assignment one has two parts. So you're going to submit part one soon. You will write a proposal for the instructional project that must be produced in the context of the class. You will include a goal statement and the major steps of the goal. So this is actually broken up into two parts. Okay, then if you could direct, I'll take a look at the example I'm providing you with assignment one. This is something that I came up with a few years ago as a project, and so I'm sort of using it as the guide here. And when you start looking at this this example here, it was an area that I was not necessarily familiar with, but kind of broke out of my comfort zone to see if I could put this together. So if you're new to Piedmont, if you're new to this a master's program, typically you have a cover sheet, and this is just one that follows the APA format, or pretty close to it. So if you want to use this as your guide, that's fine. Okay, so if you look at this example, maybe look at the rubric also have that kind of side by side. I'll just put that up here. Okay, you can see that the rubric is here, and I'll try to just walk through briefly each step to show you what to do. Okay, so you're going to start off with your goal statement, and in the case of the example I did, employees of a real estate consulting firm will be able to effectively and efficiently create a customer invoice using QuickBooks. Okay, so that is a component. In the first part of assignment one, you are to do the goal statement, and then you'll explain what's going on in this case in the company, and then you'll explain what should be. So you have to identify what's happening. In this case, this small company had issues with billing, with invoicing. Nobody knew what anybody else was doing. So that's what is. I'm providing you with the background. And why do we need this instruction? Well, okay, well, here's why. These people are not communicating. And so then what should be? Well, what should be is this idea that there needs to be a uniform way to keep track of financial records. Okay, so I've identified that. I've explained the goal statement, what is and what should be. That's kind of what this background information is. So if you look at the rubric, proposal, the background description, I'm telling what is and what should be. I've got the goal statement coming up, behavior expected of the learner, and the performance context, and that should come up as we read through this a little more. So the desired status is to have a uniform approach to paying and collecting invoices by the 3 employees. Okay, so that's the what should be side of it, and it just talks about how that's going to happen. So pretty much what you're seeing in these first 2 pages describes the actions or the problem that's occurring and what should be happening. So when you are writing this up, that's what we're looking for. That's assignment part 1. Once you get that done, fine. Let me read it. Let me give you some feedback. And then part 2, you'll submit the same bit that you have, but part 2 will sort of take the visual side of it, and will give me the flow of what's happening here. So very, very visual with this instructional design here. Okay, so then you'll identify that, and then right from Dick and Carey, you'll classify the learning domain, state the goal, and title your figure like I have above. And you'll finish it off by referencing the Dick and Carey book. So this is the model I'd like you to use when you are working on assignment 1, parts 1 and 2. So you'll only be doing the first half for this first checkpoint. I'll give you feedback, and then I'll get back to you, and then you'll get the second part done. So this concludes just this overview. If you have any questions you're not sure, please contact me, let me know, and I'll do the best I can to help you out. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you produce.